Love your voice, Lance, so much. There you go. Okay.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
What about powering information
Ask me
on
today.
safeguarding power? What's that?
I'm not sure. I read that question. Safeguarding power.
Safeguarding power, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of power solutions out there. There's a lot of companies going around. Whether make sure you read the small print, look past it, see if you can come up with a solution. Because most companies are willing to negotiate. I also know people that have had Reliant for 20, 30 years. Mm-hmm. And I've talked to them. They've been like, hey, should I get solar? I'm like, look, the roof isn't perfect for solar. You're not going to offset your entire bill with solar. But the first thing you should do is just like probably go call Reliant before you spend $50K on this solar.
Yeah.
And I know they raised your price to 18 or 19 cents.
Yeah.
But if you call them and say, I've been with you for 30 years, they can look up that record and probably give you some relief on that.
Oh,
they might drop your price. They might give you a promotional price. Make those phone calls,
friends.
You got to make those phone calls.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to sit on the call for 40 minutes through hold. And you got to wait to speak to their supervisor. So don't always take what websites like Power to Choose or what the commercials say with TXU and Reliant and all these companies. Don't just take their upfront promotion. Say, can you do a little better? Yeah. Just ask a little extra. And that goes for anything in life, but especially when you're dealing with power. So yeah, I didn't really understand what that question was, but I just kind of pivoted to helping your utilities.
All right. So next up, we've got Happy Thanksgiving. Hey, Osvaldo. He's going to be hooking it up for the upcoming month with the kiddos. He's going to be helping us with toys for kids. There you go. Christmas is coming up. Yes.
Got to do that.
All right. Michelle says hello. Hey, friends. Nate says tornado warnings. Hey, watch your roofs. Keep an eye out on your roofs, y'all.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The uplifting that happens in a tornado is just drastic. It really is. So you got to get somebody to properly go up there and perform a windstorm test sometimes if you can't see it from the naked eye. If you don't get up there and actually try to pop the shingles up with your hand, with a tool to see if they're actually flapping.
Yeah, flapping.
Right? Because some guys will go up there and they'll actually go up there and bend them on purpose and say, oh, look, there's damage.
Yeah.
So you got to look out for that too. You don't want to get caught in the crosshairs of that. But there's certain ways to look at it. And then sometimes if a roof is older, and you're flapping them, they'll crack off and they'll break.
Oh, see, yeah.
So then the insurance might come out, your carrier might come out with their adjuster, and they might say, well, this roof was old anyway. So now you've made a claim, and you get your claim denied, and now they're telling you, oh, your roof is old. You need to buy a new roof.
Wow.
So it's kind of like you thought you were getting something positive because some guy just randomly came over to your house and said you need to file a claim because of this windstorm, right? Well, we get a lot of downward winds. Some of the stuff that sweeps across the area, west to east, east to west, it's typical storm time, right? But that stuff that's a downwind from the north, or if it's a tornadic wind or something associated with a hailstorm with a swirling wind, you really got to look into that, and you really gotta get it checked. Why not? Call out. Almost every roofer will give you a free estimate. We will, and literally 90% of the roofers out here in the city of Houston will give you that free look. And if you don't like what one roofer says, go to the next to verify it. Right. You get that. That's as a customer in commercialism, you get to choose who you want. You don't have to go with the first person. So don't feel pressured to ever do anything. Right.
Okay. There you go. So because I think we got a different crowd. I think right now we've got the holiday people. Some people took their vacay time. Some of you guys took the PTO or a combination of days off and paid time off. Maybe some hours that you guys might have had accumulated. So right now we've got a different crowd. Lance, introduce yourself for those that don't know you or haven't seen you before and they're off today and they're like, oh, who's this guy with Rizzy? Tell them who you are and what Triple C Power Roofing, the kind of team work that your team does across Houston.
Yeah, so we've been in business here in Houston for 20 years. Charles Vincent is the owner of Triple C Roofing and Construction. 3 years ago, we got into the solar shingling side and the solar side of things. Solar shingles, as you all know, really didn't work out, so we still try to promote a little bit of solar power. The other thing is a lot of people have roofs that need to get replaced with solar panels on the roof. So we got to kind of get you through that process, understanding what a detach reset looks like, what the cost of that looks like, give you a good price. People argue with me that $200 a panel is a ridiculous cost. I'm like, well, I mean, it just is what it is. There's guys out there charging $300 and $400, and I wouldn't trust a guy that's doing it for $100. But it just isn't. We got to explain to you what that process is and what it entails. And then also just the brand. Every company has their brand. Some people like Owens Corning. Some people like us. We're a GAF company. Some people like Certainty. Some people just go and install the Titan shingles. Which are good. They're all good. Tamco shingles. They're all good. So whatever brand you like, it's not about necessarily the brand. Unless you're really into warranties, then the brand matters. It's all about what the crew is doing to efficiently get that roof installed.
And
that's making sure you have a proper underlayment, some kind of synthetic underlayment. Your valleys have protective ice water shield. You have starter strips around the edges, using proper drip edge, and just installing all that stuff correctly. And, there's better standards when you go south into Brazoria County and Galveston County. So there's different TWIA standards, right? You have to pass the standards. That's going to they're still going to use nail guns north of I-10, but one day they might have everything south of I-10 has to be hand nailed. That TDI compliance, you never know, might come into effect. And then the other half of things that we do is we just try to educate people on the solar side of things. So solar, better ventilation in your attic, not putting stagnant vents. Like, we don't really, if you want a ridge vent, you don't want to upgrade, that's fine, but we like to put those solar powered vents in your house and properly install them based on the area of your attic, right? So you can under install ventilation in your attic. You can also install the stagnant stuff, which is much cheaper, but we find that it's more effective, more efficient. And I think we put them on your house too, to put those solar power vents, because it's suctioning out. There's power vents too if you just want to run it through your electricity. So,
okay. Real quick, let me know if you guys can hear me. Somebody called me. I always tell people to text me first. Can you guys still hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can turn it up. Let's see.
Let's see. Make sure.
Yeah, I hear myself.
Okay, yeah.
I hear my loud.
Right. We're still on. All right. Arian says, do you find that insurance companies may be compelled to approve full replacement claims in order to have an excuse to raise premiums?
So do you find that insurance companies, I'm reading your question again, Aaron,
cool,
may be compelled to approve full replacement claims in order to have an excuse to raise the premium? So the premiums are raised nationally, right?
Okay.
And so a lot of people, there's two ways to look at this. Insurance companies lost a ton of money over the last couple of years with storms that hit America. At one point, I heard that just State Farm and Allstate alone had lost like 14 to 20% of their capital, right? They paid out, like, I want to say, $14 billion or something like that collectively, or something from the last 3 or 4 years. Don't quote me on the stats. I just know that they did lose that much capital. It was like 14 to 20%. It was something ridiculous. So they're going to get their money back somehow, right? And they're also going to tighten their parameters. That's why, like, State Farm won't even write a policy in Louisiana. And in parts, Jefferson County and Orange County over at Beaumont, they won't write over there. And then they said they might spread to over here new policies. Now, I'm not saying State Farm is a bad company, but a lot of people love the State Farm bundle. There's a lot of great State Farm agents out there. And same with Allstate. I have Allstate personally, right? But there's a lot of insurances that want to get into the game. So what do they do promotionally? Well, they give you good offers, low deductibles, things like that, lower deductibles. But are they as reliable? Because, like, some of the big dogs have been around forever, right?
Sure,
So they're not compelled to make you get a new roof just to raise it. But it's kind of fishy when you see, like, a street in Humble and every house has a brand new roof on it except for that one. It's like, well, if the same hailstorm hit these other 19 houses, why'd this 20th house not get an approval? And it could be maybe they didn't have insurance. Maybe they had a different policy at the time. Maybe they had an ACV policy that calls for expiration of the roof, and they weren't going to pay out anything because of the actual cash instead of an RCV. And then, of course, if you buy an RCV policy, it's going to be a little more on the premium side, so it's going to be more out of pocket for you. So I wouldn't say that they're like pushing for people to get the claims to make more money. I think that on the claims front, there's a lot of people that come out as in the adjuster front, these third-party services that represent the insurance carriers, right, that don't do their job the right way, or they write the wrong stuff, and they put the wrong wording, and that's what we get them on, If it's a claim, obviously, you got to pay your deductible, right, and then pay what's ever left over coming from the money side, right? But you got to pay the deductible up front. But if you get denied the first time, we're not telling people to get a second opinion as much anymore. We're telling them, let's sign some litigation together. Let's bring a lawyer into this and take them to court. When you get that contingency behind you, now you got the pressure of the law, right? And you got somebody that can execute that. It's better than a second opinion. Yeah, a second opinion might be a quicker payout. But you get that full-out lawsuit, that's money that's awarded to you, right? And you can do whatever you want with that money. You don't have to replace your roof at all. It'd be stupid for you not to, right? But you're basically kind of canceling out your deductible because you got screwed over the first time with your denial. Why did you get denied? Why did they acknowledge that there was 5 areas of the house that had roof damage, but they denied you?
Yeah.
Right? Where's the problem in that? And there's compliance issues with that, and that's where our team of lawyers comes in, and they really look into that, and they say, hey, let's take a different route, a different approach to getting settlement money for this instead of just getting claim money, right?
Right.
So, again, I don't think that the insurance is propelling that. I think that it's just taking advantage of the times. Everything's getting more expensive. The other part of premium shooting up is the appraisals from your mortgages, like your taxes, right? Like my parents' neighborhood, their taxes went up 8%. Their property taxes.
Lot, yeah.
So, like, the houses have a bigger value. So, how do you cover the cost of replacing that? You tell somebody that the house is $400,000. Well, a construction company is not going to replace it for $90,000.
No. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
If a tornado hits it, it's not going to get replaced for $90,000.
No. Yeah.
So it's crazy. Like, I can't explain. I can just explain the examples of what happens. I don't speak for the insurance. I talk to a lot of agents, maybe not a lot of experts at the state level or federal level. But when you hear people that get a claim, let's say like a flood claim, like after Harvey, do you know how many people got so much money after Harvey that they were able to like fix their house and go buy 2 more for rentals?
Wow.
So you just got to look at the payouts. The numbers on the payouts are ridiculous, and the pricing is often based upon not cutthroat Houston area roofers, right? I get undercut all the time for my pricing, but the pricing of replacing a roof in New York and California is astronomical compared to Houston.
Yeah.
But
That's
the
why
insurance
so many people moving here.
The insurance are paying out those prices for a roof in Houston, which doesn't cost 60% of the price of a roof in Connecticut, right? So, again, it's a huge game, and it's just not governed properly. It's just not overseen properly, in my opinion. So, no, there's no direct correlation between insurances paying out and then coming back around and saying, hey, you know, you're going to owe more money. And also, your premium individually, Grizzy, it doesn't go up just because you get a new roof.
No.
When you make a claim and they pay for your roof, your premium doesn't go up just because of that.
Yeah.
It goes up for all the other factors or what's going on in the region. And so, look, anybody that lives south of I-10, they're going to take it. The insurance company's going to take advantage of that.
Ooh, south of I-10. Wait. Katy peeps? No.
Everybody.
Hey, south of I-10, y'all.
Katie's a little inland. Sugarland is on the verge of it, but your folks live in Pasadena, Channelview, Galena Park, even
out that way,
Deer Park,
yes.
down to LaPorte, and then once you get into Clear Lake, Dickinson, and then you're into Galveston County and Brazoria County. Like, they call that it's just the coastal areas. They're saying, hey, you chose to live here, so we're going to risk it. I've heard people down in Kemah and in League City that have had their insurance say, you have 3-4 months now to replace. Your roof is old, which is like 12 to 15 years old.
Wow.
And I say there's nothing wrong with this roof.
Yeah.
But their insurance comes out and says,
you need to replace it.
If you don't replace this within 6 months, we're dropping you.
Wow.
And now you have that an insurance carrier dropped you on your record. And so another insurance provider might not pick you up.
Yeah, because you get flagged.
And like the only way to protest that, you know, if you're RCAT certified, if you have your licensing, right, you know, you can get a roofer to go out and give you the full inspection and then get it stamped and get that sent in and say, hey, my roofer is a professional. He has all his licensing. And they said, you know, it has 5 more years life on it. I don't need to replace it in the next 6 months. And sometimes the insurance will take that and run with it and be like, okay, we'll take you for granted here. That's fine. But, you know, it's a game of hardball. So we're replacing a roof tomorrow. That was the story. And my customer basically just said, I just didn't want to deal with it and go with the back and forth.
Wow.
I left one company. I bought the other one because it was cheaper. And then 6 months after I bought it, they came out and said I had till December 5th to replace my roof.
Dang, y'all.
Or they were dropping me.
That's crazy, friend.
So you took the discount.
Yeah.
And then they looked at your roof, whether it was by drone or drive-by. And then they just came back and said, oh, your roof, it's garbage. If you don't get a new one, we're dropping you. So they're choosing just to get the new roof now and hopefully shop for a lower premium.
Yeah, for sure.
Instead of dropping their insurance total. So another thing I tell folks, man, maybe you just don't even need to have insurance if you owe your roof outright. self-insuring yourself. Take the money that you would pay in premiums and put it into some kind of financial wealth management account.
Yeah. We got.
If I'm 60, 65 years old and I own my house, I don't ever plan on moving. Why do I want insurance?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if a fire hits, that's probably
the most important
thing. Fire or flood, right? But if you don't have a mortgage, you don't have to have insurance. Why not self-insure yourself? If you're paying $5,000 a year in premiums out in the suburbs, think about that. In 3 to 4 years, you'd have enough money in your account to buy a roof if you need a replacement.
Yes, it's
right?
true.
So, water restoration projects, or any kind of restoration projects, fire or water, obviously their pricing is through the roof. So, you're looking at $20,000 minimum if something like that happens to you.
So let me see. Somebody here says solar panels, but roofing is a must. I need myself, but I got 2,000 square feet and my house is old. And he says, what? Wait. Got to save. Yes, you got to save. Christopher says, lawyer is a last resort. Better have at least 4 years and most of the money to the lawyer. There are better ways to turn a denial repair into a full replacement.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, hey, Christopher, that's your opinion, Go talk to our customers, and that's why we have reviews. That's why we have 5 stars on Google. We tell them what it is. We tell them what the road's going to look like. We tell them it might take 8 to 12 months. And if they don't have to pay anything, they're happy with it. I'm not trying to get quick money off of people. I just want what's best for them. Ultimately, we put the decision on their table. We're not forcing them to sign contingency with the lawyer. And our lawyers don't charge 40%. My guy, Chidi, charges 20%.
Oh, yeah,
so he makes sure that he gets his costs covered in the settlement. And like I said, most of the time we're looking at something from 10 to 14,000, and Chidi goes and gets 20 and takes his money. And then sometimes people get an upgrade. So look. I know people don't want to wait. They don't want to wait. But, who's also going to do the work and maybe repair it? Christopher's right. You don't want to leave that roof because it could cause a further damage to the house. You don't want to wait 12 months to get something completely repaired. But if you properly manage it, in which we do, we'll do some kind of makeshift to make sure that it's not going to further the issues and the damages that are on the roof. Whether that's a proper tarping or a little area that needs to be replaced or caulked up or sealed up. So, again, I see where he's saying you don't want a bigger problem down the road.
Yeah.
You do make sense with that because it does take forever, right, to go through that process. Because here's what happens. That claim gets denied, and then a lawsuit gets filed, and you're waiting like 89 days just to get them to say yes or no, we accept it. Then you got to wait another 89 days for them to pay it out. And so they have their time periods. They have, it's all written into whatever your policy says. Every company works different. But again, we let the homeowners know it's not a process that's going to happen overnight. Several of the Grizzlies Hood news peeps, they've utilized that process. We've used it with them. And, and several have just said, just help me with this claim. I want to take a second claim and see if we can get a second opinion. And we go with it and do the deposit down and do that thing, mail in for the RCV. So
somebody says, let me read the question. Aaron, what's up with it, friend? Aaron says, is it worth it to get that fancy Spanish tile? Do you know what he's talking about?
My friends and I were talking about this the other day. So we played a little golf the other day. And it's your opinion, you know? Like, I don't like the look of it. I mean, if it's on a stucco house, maybe, but like, it depends on the neighborhood. The Spanish tile is expensive, though, right?
Right, I bet.
And what blows my mind is all the homes like down in Kemah or Seabrook that are on the water that have that. It's like a wind tunnel down there coming off the lake.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So but they love it and they want it. And usually, if you're going to pay for Spanish tile, you got the money to back it up.
All right.
But you're looking at literally 70 to 80%, almost double the cost of like a shingle roof versus that Spanish tile. Right.
So does it withstand the wind a little more? Or like, are there?
Yeah, each tile gets nailed down.
Okay.
So you still have your decking, and you still got to weather guard it properly, right? You got to use a whole lot of weather guard, ice and water underneath it, and then you go and you mount the shingles.
Wow.
So it's not as dramatic as like a Looney Tunes cartoon where you step on the top shelf and they all slide out and they fall down. But it can be if it's not installed properly.
If you got the wrong people. It just depends, friends, if you got the right folks.
Also, what kills me is the people that get the Spanish tile and put solar on top of it. Like, I love solar. I have solar. Solar's awesome if it's sold right, sized correctly. But man, you have this nice Spanish tile roof and you're ripping out a tile to put in a racking. to bolt in some mounts for your solar panels. So now I got these black solar panels over these red clay Spanish tiles. It's kind of like, why?
Wow.
Why?
Yeah,
right? But yeah.
Okay, we're Hoodies Peeps. We're moving into the colder months. We're wetter, colder months because we're gonna get a lot of rain. We're gonna get the cold. It's coming. I can tell already. It's gonna be one of those scenarios. Lance, what should homeowners know to be on the lookout for when it comes to roof maintenance and storm readiness in these times for this climate change?
So first and foremost, in like a heavy downpour, like if you get a lot of rain, you need to look up. And we always tell people that. John James, I'll quote him: "Look up. If you have brown spots, that means something's dripping somewhere in your attic." And then we got to go through and we got to break it down. Is it your HVAC? Is it some kind of piping? Or is it actually a hole in the roof that's trickling, down a mount or just dripping straight from the decking to whatever room that is, already busted through the insulation and worn the insulation out, and now it's forming like a bubble, right,
yeah,
on your ceiling. But the other things to do, like you said, you just want to tighten things up, and also watch out for those Christmas lights installers, right?
Oof, yeah.
So they might separate those shingles from the second layer of shingles, which is the starter strip. And so, like, if you got a newer house, it's like, well, maybe mount those lights onto your fascia boards and not to your roofing.
Okay,
right?
That's a tip. That's a good tip.
So, my house is older. I mean, my roof is probably 14 years old now. Okay. So I'm just like, whatever. I'm just going to clip to my shingles, so I'm going to have to replace it anyway. But, not everybody has the luxury of not charging themselves a profit. For right? Sure. Yeah. But no, you just got to look out for those things. As far as winterization goes, like we said, got to make sure everything's sealed down. So it's like you got to get 3 things that are just important in your life, right? Number 1, you got to get somebody to walk on your roof every 2 to 3 years. So as it is equal important on June 1st to have somebody kind of prepare your roof for hurricane season, same thing for the winter storm season, right? We get some whipping winds coming in from the north. When we get a cold front, it hits hard. And it blows through fast, right? And these storms are just violent from here on out, here through January, February. But at the same time, the other 2 things that I would say to look at is, make sure that all your plumbing, right, is set. You don't have any cracks in your foundation around your major faucets and things like that in your house. And then the third thing is you're going to run your heater at some point. So you got to get that carbon monoxide testing. So most AC HVAC companies, they'll give you like a twice-a-year maintenance outlook. They'll come in the spring to make sure everything's ready to go for the air conditioner to run, and then they'll come this time of year to make sure that you don't have any carbon monoxide leaking and that your heater's ready to run for the next 3 or 4 months. Okay. So, and they have packages, you call them, they'll come out twice a year for $120, and why not spend $120 to make sure you're not going to die of carbon monoxide poisoning? But as far as roofing goes, like I said, you just got to have somebody walk the roof. I was at my wife's cousin's house yesterday, and 2-inch nails popped up on the flashing under a pipe. Yeah. I was like, no, below the chimney flashing. I was like, dude, I got to come over here. Like, just tell me what day to come over. We gotta lock that down for you.
Yeah. Does that mean that somebody needs a whole new roof completely, or it needs like roof repair?
No, it needs like 5 minutes of maintenance.
Okay, there you go, friends.
You're gonna get up there. You're gonna reseal that flashing down with a new nail. You're gonna caulk the holes that the old nails were in. Okay. That's all it is. Just making sure that it's secured. Because if it's flapped up, obviously, if the sidewinder wind can get underneath that, that's what causes the leaks. And the next thing you know, you got a drip coming down your chimney, and you don't know if it's coming from your chimney or your roof, right? Yeah. So, but that happens because you have all these little areas on your roof where there's vents and twirly birds and so pipe jacks, exit valves.
How often should homeowners schedule a roof inspection, and what does a typical inspection look like with your team?
Yeah, so I mean, walking the roof, checking the shingles, checking the durability of everything, seeing if it's been worn out or not. We can look at it, but also trying to check some of the deck integrity as well. Sometimes you can see like some lifted areas where there might be some separation. Maybe there wasn't an H-clip installed on the decking on a steep roof. Right. So over time, it's kind of slid. And when it slides, it's basically like having a cut deep in your skin, right? If water ever does get underneath your shingles or something on the top of the roof, towards the high point, starts trickling down, if there's separation to the decking, that's where the water starts getting in. So knowing that those areas are there, step 2 would be actually getting into the attic and then looking underneath the decking to see if there's anything that's been wet, moistened, discoloration, things like that. You can tell if something's been wetted or dried out. So.
Nate says, have you seen the new eco roofs where people are growing grass on their roof? No joke. It looks really cool. I haven't seen that.
Nate, love your enthusiasm today. No, I haven't seen them.
Maybe in Europe. I think that might be a European thing.
I mean, I'm still fascinated when I see a gutter with like a tree growing out of the gutter.
I had one.
Yeah, I mean, clean your gutters, Grizzly. Come on now.
I had a little plant. I think he was saying that because I had one, and that's so funny.
Right.
Yeah.
But you see that all the time. But so that's another thing, like the gutter maintenance as well, because if you do have gutters around your house, what's happened for the last month or so, like we actually kind of had a fall here, right? And so all those pine needles and all that loose crap is falling and clogging up your gutters. So like you want to get that cleared out because the next time there's a heavy rain, you might get gutter separation, right? Because it's just too heavy, or you might not get the water flow. And, that's the reason why you get the gutters is to protect the foundation of your home, protect your flower beds that you spent all that money preparing underneath and on the side of the house. So, and of course, you don't want to get wet when you're walking to your groceries, right?
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So like all those things are important. I would say it's okay to ask your roofer to say, hey, come give me a look. Let's put some caulking on any loose screws that are around, right? Especially on the ridges and on the hips and around all my flashings. Tighten everything up. Let me know if you see any trouble areas that I might want to keep an eye on. And then also, while you're there, can you clean out my gutters for me? So that's important stuff. You got to have that done. Otherwise, water's not going to flow. So, yeah.
There you go. All right. Insurance can get very complicated.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What advice do you have for homeowners who are thinking about filing a claim after noticing roof damage?
And so we've been talking about this since day one. We've been with you, Grizzly. So it's basically, if you have a couple of shingles down, the first thing you want to do is call a trusted roofing professional.
Yes.
So like, if you don't remember us, well, shame on you, but no. But if you have like a cousin or a brother or your mom or your dad use a roofing company, get that company's number. If they did a good job, they're trusted. Get them to come out and give you their opinion first.
Okay.
Right? And then based upon what they say, if you get one company or three companies. Well, if two companies come out and say you don't have a claim, but one guy's just insistent, they're like, dude, you got to file a claim. You're going to win the claim. You have tons of damage. I'm probably going to trust the two other companies that told you there's nothing to worry about. We'll make a few upgrades. We'll make a few repairs for you. Yeah. As opposed to making a whole claim. There's also this idea of wasting a claim.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because
don't just make a claim to try to get a new roof. Yeah. Right? Like, there's got to be, like, in order for you to win the claim, 9 times out of 10, there's got to be significant damage. The adjusters, the language that they speak after, like, a hailstorm, per se, right? Pea-sized hail is nothing. Even 1-inch hail doesn't have to be anything unless it just does it consistently for, like, 45 minutes, right? Yeah. But all the time, an adjuster will say, well, yeah, I see that there's 1,000 hail marks on this section of the roof. But what damage did it cause? What is the damage here? They want to know, what is the damage? Did it dent the decking? Did it break and penetrate the shingle? Right? If there's no damage, then you're not going to win the claim. So you got to have damages, which is why your public adjuster or your appraiser is going to come out and say, well, maybe there wasn't as much damage on the roof, but look at all these gutters and all this metal, and look at my windows, and look at my window frames, right? Everything has a hole punctured into it, right? Yeah. So that's why it's good to look at the entire house and not just the roof. But no, there's a such thing as a wasting a claim, but also call the roofer first and the insurance second, based upon what the roofer says.
Yeah, there you go.
So if you trust the guy the first time and he says do it, roll with them. Hopefully they don't, keep you on the low. Too many times, though, I've talked to folks that have hit me up through my marketing. And they've come back and they've said, this roofer promised me the world, told me I was going to get a free roof, insurance denied my claim, and they never answered the phone for me again. Dang. So, like, there are people who still go out there and just chase the high dollar that they're going to get from that roof claim. Okay. Because like we talked about earlier, the roofs cost more on the East Coast than the West Coast. They're paying out the same thing to Houston. Wow. We just have people that'll install a roof for cheaper. Yeah. So if they're going to get that money, they're going to tell you that you have to give them all that money, right? Because you got to pay your deductible, and that money has to go towards the roof. they're going to make a ton of money off of that. So
there you go, friends. Get prepared and be knowledgeable so that you know what you're getting into, and make sure you get somebody you trust, because you don't want to burn that bridge either by making a claim and then it wasn't even nothing legit about it.
Yeah, and the part that's interesting is, you know, we do a lot of promotion through Triple C, and I'll just squash the bug right here. We say like, this individual paid $0 out of pocket for their roof after their insurance denied the claim, and it's because we do that process of taking it to court or taking it to some kind of litigation and not just going through the claims process.
There you go.
Right. But if we're doing it right the first time, and we're initially on the claim, and the claim goes through, and we produce the exactimate report, and we produce the estimate, and they pay us the deductible, then they pay us the difference after the balance comes in, and after we do the roof, we wait for the check to come in. That's the proper way of doing it. If I'm trying to phrase this right, if your roof cost $20,000 and your deductible was $7,000, and the roofer comes out to you and says, well, you only owe me $18,000, the insurance is going to give you $20,000, you can keep $2,000. Like, no, not cool.
Yeah.
You got to go through the motions.
Yeah.
Because if somebody gets audited down the road, right, you got to have the steps that are shown that you received the deductible amount. Here's a receipt for it, right? So that the whole process is to go through step by step. It's just the proper way to go.
Got it.
Yeah.
Somebody else. Hey, Nate. Nate's a good participator today. Nate says, okay, and what Nate just asked right now.
Oh yeah. It's legit.
Yeah,
I'm reading
it's a legit question, and it's happened to me. And I live in the hood, and there's a lot of pew pew, like pew pew pew. All right, Nate says, I have a strange question. How many people have called you to repair bullet holes after New Year's and 4th of July? It's legit. That's a legit
it happens.
question.
No, it happens. I mean, I'm not going to name neighborhoods, but we do a lot of targeted marketing.
See Nick Woods. Okay.
Yeah, no, we do a lot of targeted marketing, like in Alief, Mission Bend, Sugarland, Richmond, right? Those areas. So we see a lot of that. I mean, we have seen a lot of that in Alief before.
Wow.
But oftentimes it's not people that necessarily know they have a bullet hole.
Yeah.
But when you go through and just give them that routine check, right? They'll see like their hips, they're fading, right?
Yeah.
So the erosion of the hips, they're like, what do I do here? Right? I think I need a new roof based upon that. And we go up there and we walk on the roof and we say, well, actually, you got 2 bullet holes right here. Yeah. You might have 3 or 4 bullet holes in your roof. Like, did you know?
Oh my God.
Did you know you had these? Right? They have no clue, right?
Yeah.
So you educate them on that. All right. There's this phrases. Maybe other roofers might think this is silly, but all you got to do is when you're on the roof with the adjuster, which we talked about also, if you make an appointment with your insurance the day that they send out a claims adjuster, the roofer needs to meet them at that appointment, right? It's very important because the roofer is basically your attorney. Yeah. Right? They're battling for you. So when you're up there, you know, if whether it's a bullet hole or natural cause, right, whatever the cause is, if that adjuster acknowledges that bullet hole as damage, okay, that roofer's going to say, so did I hear you say there's damage here and over here? And they got to mark that and put that in their files, right? Because now they've acknowledged that there's damage. Didn't say who made the damage, right? Yeah. Like, I'm not a proponent of man-made damage like we talked about earlier. You don't want any of that happening. But those bullet holes, damage is damage. Yeah, damage is damage. Whether it's a tree limb puncture or a bullet hole or a golf ball or baseball size hail hit, damage is damage. And when they acknowledge that there's damage, that's and they turn around and still deny the claim. They're going to give you a partial roof replacement. That's when you got to get the second opinion or get that litigation and take it to court. So, okay, there you go, friend. Again, a lot of companies do charge that 40% contingency. Our crew does it for 20%. So we kind of have this ongoing theme at Triple C where it's not about the greed. And so I've looked at it, and we haven't instituted this yet, but I will do this. I'll say this for the end of the year. Our rate is $400 per square for our GAF 50-year roof, okay? So I'm telling you all the rate up front because I don't want people coming back and saying, well, he'll just blow up the rate and then discount it. Veterans or anybody that has a family member who was a veteran that served our country, we will give a $2,000 discount to for a roof. The reason why I'm announcing that, I'm taking the USAA insurance model, right? You see the Rob Gronkowski commercials, right? Yeah. So if you had somebody in your family who served, you can get USAA insurance. Same thing, if you served or someone in your family served, right? You're going to be eligible for a $2,000 roof discount.
Okay.
Right? Just thank you for the military and the service families that we have here in the Houston area. Now, and I said it up front, the original charge that we have is $400 per square for a roof. Okay. So that means if the discount is $2,000 off of a 30 square roof, which would normally be $12,000, yes, I will do it for 10. That comes out to $300 per square.
Okay.
I don't make a lot of money on it, but my crews get paid.
Yeah.
And we're doing a thank you, a service.
Okay.
So
there you go.
So there you go. I'm throwing it out there.
All right.
I can't be more transparent than that. Based off a $400 per square roof, $2,000 off the roof, if you or your family members served in the military.
Sounds good, friend.
So how about that?
I love it.
So I mean, again, people knock all the time, and they see the promotions, and they don't see it coming from someone's mouth, right?
Yeah.
Right. But I don't want to throw the rumors out the door. Like, we're not going to raise the price to $475 per square and then give a $2,000 discount. No. We're not here to mark it up and then take it back. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's $400 a square for our roof, the GAF roof. And don't come to us and say, well, what if we don't want a 50-year roof? Sorry, that's what we install. Yeah. The more of those we install, the better off we are with GAF, right? Everybody's trying to get the master levels, the elite levels. So there's a lot of elite roofers out there in the Houston area that they install probably 400 or 500 GAF roofs over the last couple of years. So everybody's trying to get to those levels and maintain those presidential levels with whoever they install. So.
God bless our military.
So exactly, we're no different, and it's a special I am going to offer for the rest of this year, and it might become our pitch for 2026.
Okay, we'll see.
So let's see if y'all take me up on that, right?
Yeah.
I always get asked too, do you have any veteran discounts, you know?
There you go, friends. Yes.
So I thought about it, and I was like, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do something like that.
So what can people do to be prepared, or better be prepared? Like, what kind of documentation do they need to keep, or photos before actually contacting the insurance? Let's say they talk to the roofer, because you said talk to the roofer first.
Yeah.
Where do they go from there? Like with the documentation, do they need to take pictures? What can they do for a better outcome with the insurance with the insurance in mind?
So if you have like a tree limb on your roof and you just can't stand it and you want to get it removed before the insurance adjuster comes out or before you even call a roofer, you got to make sure you have pictures of that, because they'll be like, I didn't see any damage here. What do you mean there was a tree here? And we'll come out and be like, look, that's scraped for like 18 feet. What do you mean there's no tree? Can't see where there's damage, you know? Okay. So like if there's debris on your roof, you definitely want to get a photo yourself. But the roofer that comes out should have some kind of tagged, dated, stamped, time-stamped report that gets produced. Okay. And then the adjuster will come out and they'll produce their own report as well. And then sometimes the adjuster will say, hey, let me see what you took. Let me see the pictures you took, right? Just depends on how backed up they are. But most of the time they do their own documentation. So then it becomes down the road, if you do get denied, well, here's our pictures versus the pictures your guy or gal took, 5 days after. So. Not telling you got to climb up on your roof and take a picture of every little hail hit on your roof. You know what I'm saying? So.
Got it. All right, check in, peeps. Are we still there? So, before we wrap it up, what steps? I mean, what are some words that you want to share with the Hood News peeps, any Houstonians or surrounding areas? Would you like to share with the Houston community?
Any words?
Yes.
Well, first of all, have a happy and blessed Thanksgiving. Right? I mean, it's an amazing time of year. I feel like we've had kind of a weird economic year.
Yes.
And we're seeing a lot of, it's a very slow, it's actually sad. I get a lot of guys with crews, because we all have the crews that we use, Yeah. We have a sub crew, but I've used the same crew for literally, I guess we're going on 13 months now, right? So sub crews are reaching out to me. They're like, man, we're looking for work. We saw you on Grizzly. You have to have a lot of work.
Yeah, I saw some right now tagging.
Yeah, we're slow too, but they always ask us. They're looking for work. They're just trying to find something to do. Yeah, so it's sad. So it's like a weird economic time, right? But on the flip to that, You know, I've heard that Houston has the strongest real estate market pretty much in the country.
Oh yeah.
So like where the national averages are down for like the number of days a house stays on the market and, you know, percentage of houses sold, Houston has better numbers compared to the rest of the country.
Yeah.
According to what I've been hearing from, you know, the real estate agents I hang out with. So, you know, just have a happy and blessed Thanksgiving, but also refresh your mentality for 2026,
There you
right?
go. Yeah.
And I've been preaching this to everybody. Don't lose business over the next 5 weeks, right? Like, prepare yourself to do stuff that's going to build yourself for 2026, no matter what business that you're in.
Okay.
So let's make those connections. Go to those
Listen
Christmas
up.
parties, right? Go to those functions that they're handing out food and blankets to the poor, right?
Yeah.
To the homeless.
Yeah.
Participate in those events. Wear your company shirt. I'm not even wearing mine today, but like if you go do charity, wear your company's brand with you. Let people know what you do. Ask them for your help. Like if you're a company owner, don't take shame in saying, I need more work. I need more work for my crews. I need more work for my family to make money. If you know anybody, please send them my way, right? And that's what I ask you. If you know anybody that needs roof work done,
I love
there's
that.
people still reeling, you know?
Yes.
But also understand that you're already giving back, right? So you got to also give back a little too. Don't just be greedy about it. But
That's right.
use the next 5 weeks not to go hide in the hole and chewing on your nails, wondering, what am I going to do in 2026, right? Just prepare yourself, make those networking connections, work on what you have to work on, and just power through it because it is a slow time of year. Yeah. But actually, last December, we installed 5 roofs. Like we're not a huge company, Triple C. We installed 5 roofs last year in December, which was a good month. Yeah. Right. For us.
Yeah, for that time of year.
Yeah, I mean we're not doing 10 or 12 like 20 like we do in summertime, but you know. 5 was a lot. And so a lot of people, they're like, I just need 1 to get by.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, just be blessed and count your blessings, you know. That's what it's all about. And make sure you spend that time with family and not harping over what you're not getting in your work life.
Oh,
so,
there you go.
Yeah, that's my words of wisdom to H-Town. I guess my other wise word is, you know, last year on Christmas Eve, we had a little squall that blew through town. Call me, text me, we'll answer the phone. Yeah, I might be praying with my family or drinking a little eggnog on Christmas Day, right? But I'll still look down at the text at some point and give you a fast, quick response. And I'll say, like I did last year, I'll be there on the 26th. I'll be there first thing in the morning on the 26th to see what you got going on.
There you go.
So
and he's really true to his word. Like I can call him at any time. I can text him, and he'll get back to me right away.
If disaster strikes anything in your life, don't ever just say, I didn't want to bother them. It wasn't the right time to bother somebody. Like, just, hey, make the call. Ask and you shall receive, right? You can't get what you want if you don't ask.
My call to Lance one day was like, ring, ring. Hello? Hey, Lance, I've got mold on my ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
I think something's wrong with it. I think I have leaks in my roof because I had the plumber come out and they couldn't find anything. And then so I called Lance, and it turns out I had bullet holes. I had wear and tear on a roof that wasn't really that old, but it was just ill done. It was the lady that used to live in my house before me. She didn't she hired anybody, I guess, and the work was poor. Like it was like layers and layers, right, of like crap.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was basically something had hit the house probably 10 years ago. Yeah. And it had caused some kind of crack in the decking. Yeah. So over time, as the felt underneath the shingles had worn out, and some of the ridges had worn out, any water, any precipitation, anything that had gotten up underneath the moisture started eating away at some of the decking. Yeah. So she had these holes that were like probably 6 to 10 inches wide.
Friends, I had huge holes in my ceiling.
And so it was just letting moisture getting into her small attic space, really. So since she didn't have centralized air, central heat, central air, right? She didn't have that flow of trying to like cool down and dry everything up, so it just kept getting moister and moister.
Jeez,
but at least you didn't have like bona fide mold.
Thank God, yeah.
And it was cleaned up. It was easily cleaned up.
Yeah.
And now everything should be sealed up nicely.
Now it rains and I'm not worried at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, friends. Look, we're here with Lance from Triple C Power Roofing. Like you heard the man, just like market yourselves. All my business owners out there, we're facing these weird times. Spread the word. Like, y'all know Lance, he gives back to the community all the time. Just look out for one another. He's always shouting out other businesses too, his attorney. Like, he tries to look out, and we have to be that way in this crazy market where things are very slow. And actually, I think they were slow for the season, right? Like,
obviously no hurricanes hit, so we got really, really spoiled last year.
Yeah.
And like someone had mentioned, I can't remember your name, sorry, but he said, hey, what about these insurance claims and these prices going up? Maybe it was Nate, I was not positive, but yeah, there were so many claims last year. So many. And so everybody was just trying to get a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
And then a lot of pie was served. Trust us, a lot of pie was served. And this year, everybody just kind of regressed, right? Or digressed. I don't know what's the word, digressed. Yeah. Everything just slowed down a little bit. So, no, just like I said, look out for what you got going on your roof. If your roof is for sure older than 10 years old, every couple of years you got to have somebody up there to check on it, especially going into the winter time. So yeah, hit us up. Oh, Grizzy's trying to put our number in there.
Yeah, what's the number?
So it's 1-855-766. 1990. What a year. 1990.
1990. I was skipping school.
Yeah. If you text us Grizzy to that number, you'll get a discount whether you were in the military or not. But obviously that discount, just let me know. It's going to
Nate wants to know, do you service the Woodlands? Yes.
Of course, yeah, we service all of Houston.
Yes, he does. I'm going to put a little caption in there, too. There's a caption up top, friends, that you can check out, or you can, like, click down, like the little arrow thing that points downward. It'll give you the whole caption with the phone number. So 1-855-766-1990.
Oh, here's your words of wisdom. Don't drop a frozen turkey or a wet turkey into your fryer.
Ooh.
You don't want that flash flame going up, man. You don't want to start a flash fire.
Ooh, y'all better be thawing out those turkeys right now.
Like, don't cook those turkeys in your fryer, like, below an awning or below a patio.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, put that out in the middle of the driveway.
Yeah, please avoid tragedies, foolishness, and effery. Yeah.
Have you ever seen that before? Have you ever seen that?
I've seen those.
I've gone down to the fire department back in the day, and they used to drop like a 20-pound
frozen
turkey into the pot.
Big explosion.
And, it was huge explosion.
Yeah, huge.
Dry your turkeys.
Dry the turkeys. Pat them. Pat. Yes. And
if you're looking for some flavor this year, maybe get you some of that Tony's Cajun butter.
Oh, yeah.
And inject those legs.
Yeah.
And those turkey breasts and those thighs.
Yeah.
Get in there and inject them.
Yes. I'm hungry already.
I know.
Yes.
Make that turkey a little savory this year.
Yes.
Don't shy away from it. You can buy that stuff anywhere. Kroger, H-E-B, Academy. It's everywhere.
Everywhere. All right, Lance, it's been so amazing talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for
have a blessed holiday.
You too. You guys from Triple C Power Roofing. Holidays, be blessed. And yeah, we will see you guys soon. Shout out to Nate. We see you, friend. All right, friends, stay tuned. More hood news on the way. Triple C Power Roofing was in the house. Talk to y'all soon.